right, so we're going to start on our mats. We're going to do a lot of focus on our glutes today, down on the mats, and then once we come to standing, we'll do some other stuff. So if you have a resistance band, you can have a couple different weights of that. And if you have weights, you can have, I have 3, 5, and 10, but you never need all those, just use what you have. So we're going to start, go ahead and come on down to your backs. So your knees are going to be bent, about hips distance apart. Palms are going to be in the mat. Roll the shoulders down and back. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff down here. So just to begin, I just want to do a little bit of spinal warm-up for you. So maybe like 3 to 5 bridges. So you're going to inhale to tilt up, coming up to your shoulder bridge. Exhale to lower back down. So while we don't focus quite as much on the breath in this, it's super important that you breathe because you're using weights and resistance, and you really need to make sure your muscles are getting oxygen. It's always important, even though that's not the focus of today's class. Inhaling to tilt up, exhaling to release down. Maybe one more of those. Whenever you next make it down to the mat, just go ahead and release down. Once you get down, separate your feet about mat distance apart and just swish your legs back and forth. Just loosen up the hips and the pelvis a little bit. All right, so first thing, I will invite you, if you want, to put a resistance band around your upper thighs. So your call. It just adds a little je ne sais quoi. So if you put the resistance band there, what wants to happen is your knees want to stop together. And with the resistance band, you have to engage your muscles to keep them out. Second thing I will invite you to do is take a weight, any size you want. This is a 10-pound weight. You can put it across your hips or you can sort of drop it in between your legs, whatever is more comfortable. And we're going to start lifting and lowering all the way, just like we just did. So you're going to inhale, tilt the hips up to the highest point. Exhale to lower back down. So we're just going to do a whole bunch of these. I actually like it down, dropped there. It just sort of like hangs out. Inhale to tilt up. Exhale to go down. So be careful that you're not using the low back. You want to be engaging the gluteal muscles. So as you tilt up, you're squeezing the glutes, tightening the abs too. There's actually a little bit of abdominal engagement going on here. And you're just pressing slightly. Apparently this is a harder thing to do with the weights if you are of the male gender. That you want to slightly squeeze out with your thighs to make sure you're engaging. The other thing you could do here is actually have a small ball or yoga block between your thighs and be squeezing in. So if you haven't got a resistance band, you could go ahead and do that instead. It just works different parts of your thighs. Just lifting and lowering. The thing about our glutes is they're really strong, so we kind of have to burn them out if we want to do anything real beneficial. We're going to be doing this movement for like a good few minutes. We're just going to change it as we go. So go ahead and lift all the way up, and now we're going to do little pulses. So it's just the lift and squeeze, just a squeeze to the top. If you are using a weight and it gets to be too much, you can change out and use a smaller one, or you can just skip it all together. Just lift and squeeze. So you're at the highest point and then just squeezing a tiny bit higher. So it's a really small movement. Continuing to inhale and exhale. Continuing to squeeze the thighs in if you have a ball in between your knees, or gently press the thighs out if you're using resistance band. Just continuing to lift and squeeze. Try to relax the head, shoulders, neck. And then come up on the balls of your feet. So you might want to walk your feet a tiny bit closer and now lift and squeeze from here. So it's even a little bit higher up. You'll notice your calves have to fire on, and it also is going to work a different part of your gluteal muscles. Lift and squeeze. You can also put it across your hips if that is more comfortable, like across this way. Both bad. Let's do about 10 more of these. Squeeze up, Lower down. If you've got a weight, go ahead and take it out and put it down. Lower your heels down to the mat. Walk your feet together. So now your feet are all the way together. And now you're going to open your legs like a clamshell and bring them back together. So if you have a ball, obviously you'll need to take that out, or a block. If you're using resistance band, you're fighting against the resistance. If you're not using a resistance band, just press out as if you're pushing on something. Instead of letting your legs just flop out and flop in, create your own resistance. Super important that you stay lifted. If you can keep the weight on, that's fine, but I do find it hard to keep the weight on when your legs are moving like this, so you don't want it dropping down and hurting you. Keep the hips way up. Lift the hips up. Hips up. Push up. Head down. Head down, hips up. There you go. Working your outer hips, thighs, glutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you can go ahead and relax for half a second. Go ahead and take this off. Now we're going to take one smaller weight. If you want to keep using a big weight, you can. I'm going to lower it down to a 5-pound because we're going to be working one leg at a time. So we're going to do the same idea where we go from flat-footed to up on the balls of our feet, and we're going to have one leg extended with either the foot flexed or the foot pointed to match. So place the weight kind of on your right hip, and then you're going to lift your left leg up in the air. Again, you can do this without the weight. Foot is flexed, pushing heel towards the ceiling, and we're going to pulse up and squeeze. Lift up and up and up. If you're using a weight, it's on that right side because the right side is the one that's doing work. Pulse up. It's a pretty small movement. All of these movements are pretty tiny. Let's do 10 more-ish. I suck at math. I'm not very good at counting. 5, 4, 3, 2, lift up. Point the left toe, come up on the ball of the right foot, and continue the same motion. Now it's like you're trying to touch your toe to the sky. It's really entertaining having one person live. When I used to teach live, it was always super fun because, as you might have noticed, I'm not the most serious of teachers, and it's okay to laugh at ourselves. And I know sometimes you guys like fall, or you can't do something, or you collapse from exhaustion, and it's fun sometimes to laugh at yourselves and do that in a group class. And we don't have that. Lower down, other side, switch the weight to the left, extend the right leg. But I have one live participant, and it's fairly entertaining. Someone just stuck their tongue out at me. Press up, lift up, squeeze the glutes. Press that heel towards the sky. Might need to just come on camera and start being my co-person. Probably get millions more followers. Oh my goodness, I don't know about your glutes, mine are killing me. Let's do 10 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the toes so you're up on the balls of your foot. Toe towards the ceiling. Make sure you're not putting tension in your shoulders. I just noticed I was like clenching my neck a little. You don't want to do that. You want the glutes to be working. If the low back is hurting, take the weight off. We're working the glutes. We don't want to hurt anything else. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, you're not alone if you're feeling a bit sore. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Let's pull the right knee in, stretch the left leg away. Release that low back. Bend the left knee, cross the right ankle across, figure 4, holding behind the left thigh, just pull that in. Release that right hip. Just a couple breaths. We don't have lots of time for stretching in this class. Switching sides, left leg comes in, right leg extends out. Right knee bends, cross the ankle, figure 4 on this side. And releasing that down. Rock yourself up to sit. Gonna give your glutes a break, and we'll do some work with our arms. So come to sitting. Nice and tall, as always. The modification of this is going to be to hold your thighs and tilt back. If you can do that without holding your thighs, you're just going to release the arms. The abs are engaged, chest is lifted. We don't want to be down here. You want to stay nice and proud. If you want to add some resistance, you add the weights. We're going to rock back to here and back up to sit. Inhale to come down. Exhale to come up. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to use the Pilates breath, so inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. As always with our ab work, we don't want to go into our low back. So you're going as low as you can, but you're not touching the mat, and you're not arching that back. And you're pulling up almost to vertical, but not quite. 3 more. Inhale back, chest lifted, shoulders back. Last one. When you come up, go ahead and bring those hands together in the middle of your chest. You're still lifted, you're leaning slightly back, a little bit of a hinge, so you're not all the way vertical. Bit of a hinge back, and we're going to double twist to one side, back to center. Exhale, exhale, back to center. Inhale. Inhale. Try to point your chest towards the sky, the solar plexus here, towards the sky. And you're looking kind of right in front of you. You're not looking down at your toes. Inhale. Do one more each side. Try to be even. Finish off. And pull yourself up to sit. Go ahead and place those weights down. Come on over onto your other side. First plank of the day. Go ahead and bring your forearms down to the mat, coming up on our toes. As always, you can drop the knees to modify this. Otherwise, staying lifted on our toes. And we're going to lift and lower the right leg. Lift up and lower. Tiny movement, of course. It's not a big kick. Just a few inches off the mat. Little gentle movement. If it's jerking, you're going to hurt your back. It's a gentle lift, gentle lower, just a few inches. 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Lift and lower with intention. Squeeze in the glute, feeling it in the gluteals, the abdominals, not the back. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up onto our hands, first round of push-ups. We're just going to do rounds of 5. My goal is to do 4 rounds of 5, so we do 20 push-ups all together. I like to do this with a wide hand position, hands slightly turned in. Definitely drop down to your knees at any point, and definitely feel free to do half push-ups, so you just go a little ways down. When you're ready, we're going to lower down. Exhale, press up. 4, 3, 2, last one. Dropping down to knees, stretch back for 1 second in child's pose just to release. And come on back up to hands and knees. So we're going to do some more work in our glutes. So hands are going to be under shoulders, knees are under hips in our tabletop position. I invite you to use a weight if you want. I wouldn't use more than 10, but you can definitely use 5 if you would like. You can use none if you would like. I'm going to put 10 in. All right, so again, you're engaging your abdominals to protect your low back. We don't want to be arching this back. The work is in the glutes, all right? So we're going to lift that knee up and lower it back down. We're not swinging. We're lifting and lowering. Lifting up, pressing the foot towards the ceiling, lower down. If you're doing this without weight, that's fine, but there'll be more of a possibility that you kind of swing and kick your legs. So make sure you're moving with intention. 3, 2, last one, lift up. Heel is flexed, or foot is flexed, heel towards the ceiling, and we just do little pulses here. Again, engaging the abdominals, using the gluteals, so you're not hurting your low back. Lift and lower, looking right in between your hands. right between your thumbs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that leg down if you're using a weight. Switch it to the other side. You can also use a ball and just squeeze the ball. I definitely wouldn't use more than 10 just because if it falls, that's pretty dangerous, and 10 might be too much as well. So slow lift and lower. Lifting up, lowering back down. Lifting and lowering without arching the back. So imagine you have a glass of champagne perhaps, something fragile in a tall flute that's really unstable and you don't want it to spill. Trying to keep the hips and the shoulders stable. It's very easy to kind of lean over to one side. Can you keep them parallel? 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, lift up, foot is flexed, heel towards the ceiling, little pulses. Tiny movement. Not a big effort, pushing into the hands, tabletop back. Belly button always pulling towards the spine. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing that down. Go ahead, if you would like, grab your resistance band. We're coming right back to that same position. So if you're not using resistance band, just stay on all fours. If you want to put the band around you, it goes right where it was before, right above your knees. Coming back to tabletop position, we're opening out, lifting the knee and the ankle and bringing it back in. Lifting up and lowering. Again, there might be a tendency to lean to the opposite side. Try to keep your hips square to the mat, parallel to the shoulders. Lift up. The idea is to keep the knee and ankle in one line. So your shin is parallel to the floor. Really kind of like the side of your leg. Your calf is parallel to the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, lift up and hold. Tiny pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Releasing it down. Coming onto the other side, I'm just turning around so I don't kick the wall. And we lift up and bring it back in. Lifting up and down. Belly button in, knee and ankle in line with one another. Notice if you're pushing the knee back. Can you keep that knee right where it is? It's just lifting straight out to the side. Straight back in. For 10. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, lift up and hold. Tiny pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And lower down. And release. You probably should be using that one. Coming back to your plank, onto your forms. You can leave the resistance band on. Come back to your plank. Belly button squeezing in, hips parallel to the floor, looking in between your hands. We're going to step out. So you step out with your right foot, step out with your left foot, step in with your right foot, step in with your left foot. Now we'll go the other side. Left foot, right foot, left foot in, right foot in. Right out, right in, left in. Left side, left, right, and switch. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Last time, left, right, right, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press up, second set of 5 push-ups. Hands at the edge of the mat, slightly turned in, parallel to the floor. Lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop down to knees, push back on your heels in child's pose. Not for long, don't get too comfortable. Good, go ahead and come on up. Rock back onto your feet so you're hanging over in a forward fold. Bending the knees, rolling all the way up. 1 vertebra at a time until you come to standing. So we're going to grab 2 weights. I think that is probably 2 weights, lighter ones. I've got the 3-pound ones. Notice I still have my resistance band on. We're going to come down into our chair pose. So bending the knees, pushing back in the hips, chest is lifted, nice and tall, knees over ankles, all right? And we're going to kick back triceps to shoulders and extend, shoulders and extend. Really squeezing the shoulder blades together, making sure you can wiggle your toes because we want your weight in your heels, and chest is lifted as much as you can. The idea is not to bend down parallel to the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, lift up and hold, squeeze in, palms reach towards one another. Squeeze in, in. Again, we're not swinging ever. Intentionally pressing out and in, out and in. Make sure you're pushing the hips back, weight in the heels so you're not hurting your knees. Chest lifted, 3, 2, and 1. Turn the palms face up and pulse up, up, up. Lifting and lowering. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way up to standing. Shaking it out. Placing the weights down beside you. Bending the knees, hands to the mat. Hopping back to plank. You can step back if you don't have a band on. It's just hard to step back if you have a band on. Next set of push-ups. Hands turning in. You can drop down to knees. Remember, never feel like you have to do this from toes. Lowering down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now coming to elbows, forearms rather, for our RBG plank. And we're going to add a twist. We're going to drop the hips to one side, up to center. Drop to the other side, up to center. Twist. Exhale, inhale, exhale. Five, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Come back to hands. Walk your hands back to your feet. Let your hips drop and roll yourself all the way up. Next set of chairs, this time we're going to add some movement. So, sitting back in our Utkatasana, hips push back, knees over ankles, hands come up by our shoulders. Sitting nice and low. We're going to stand up, hands are going to come to hips. Not really hips, we're just drop the arms down. Inhale, exhale to stand. Inhale, exhale. Always making sure you're pushing back. Never want to track out over toes. Push the hips back. Mira. Push the hips back. Not forward. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, stay down. Tricep curls. Shoulders, kick back. Shoulders and back. 5, 4, 3, 2. Lift up and hold, palms together, squeeze and open. Squeeze and open. Shoulder blades squeezing together. Hips down and back. Knees over ankles, chest lifted, belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Palms up. You're really squeezing your arms back. They're behind you, not beside you. And lifting up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And coming up to stand. Last set of push-ups. Hands down the mat. Bending the knees, stepping back or hopping back to your plank. Whenever you're set up, 5 push-ups. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back down to your forearms. And now coming to our side plank. So right arm on the mat, right leg on the mat, or foot I should say, hand on hip. Option to lift and lower. 10, 9, 8, 7, we're almost done. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, other side, left arm on the mat, left foot on the mat, right hand on the hip. You can hold right here, or you can lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower all the way down, coming to sitting. Legs extend out in front of you. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, release down. Take a couple of deep breaths. Bringing yourself up. If you've got a band, go ahead and take it off. Bringing the soles of the feet together. Sitting up nice and tall. Releasing those hips down. Take an inhale. And an exhale. One more in. And release. Go ahead and let those legs just cross. Take a deep inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers and give yourself a couple of little stretches side to side. And exhale, hands to heart center. And you're done. Have a great night.